Hi, and welcome to the Arts District podcast. I'm Lauren.
And I'm Georgia.
And I believe we're on episode 48.
Yes.
Right?
I looked it up.
Yeah, so we've actually been doing the podcast for a year now.
You stole what I was going to talk about.
Damn! Okay, you can say it. Go for it.
It's fine. I was just going to say we posted our first video on August 6th. And today is the 4th.
Wow, so it was almost...
Yeah, it's just about a year.
Yeah. We skipped a couple episodes, so it hasn't been 52 yet, but we're getting there.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've been doing this for a year.
So crazy.
Cool.
And even longer than that, I guess, because it was a little bit before we recorded.
Yeah.
And the idea.
Yeah, I think we put it up like a week after we actually filmed it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that was cool. If you're feeling nostalgic, go watch our first episode where I have long hair and Georgia has her laptop out and we're so unprofesh. But we've come a long way, so that's a good thing.
Yep. We talked about digital art auctions.
Yes.
And we talked about Heim. And visiting cultural institutions like Trends, the numbers and stuff, I remember. And the Walkervilles.
The Walkervilles. That was a good episode in terms of content.
Yeah, we also talked about the AGO's Anishinaabe exhibition, which later this year I visited.
Yeah,
so,
cool. Yeah, we were way better with our notes back then.
Very thorough.
Very, journalistic. Is that a word? Journalists. Now we're just kind of like, no, I'll talk about this.
Yeah.
That's fine.
And I'm not even using lights.
Yeah, we totally ditched the light thing, eh?
Yeah. Well, I don't even have them here.
It's okay. Australia. At least we don't have to worry about my glasses getting glare.
That's true.
So in a way, it's good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I've just got a few things to talk about.
Yep.
I was in New York this past weekend.
Yay!
Didn't go see any crazy art exhibits or anything like that, but I did go to the Museum of Natural History again. We went there in high school.
I forgot about that high school trip.
Yeah, and so I went again. I went with some friends of mine and Adam, my boyfriend, and he really wanted to go see the dinosaurs in the space exhibit, so we went there and saw that. There was a bunch of screaming children running around, so we didn't stay too long. We were there for 2 hours, 2.5 hours.
That's pretty
Which
good
is a long time, but we didn't even cover half the museum because it's so big. So yeah, that was cool. I went to Cafe Wa, which is in Greenwich Village, and it's this crazy legendary old bar. Everyone from the Doors to I feel like the Rolling Stones probably played there. It was a big folk club too back in the 60s, or I guess 50s. So yeah, it was crazy. It was this basement, low ceilings, very narrow and long. So the stage was along one side. It was not your typical looking bar at all. I don't know how it has lasted as long as it did, but we were sat right at the front of the stage. So the house band that was playing were totally awesome. They played so many awesome covers and. Yeah, it was just I'm so inspired now. I gotta go home and work on music and play Cafe Wa someday.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that was a highlight for sure. Lots of good street performers and just tooting around the city. It's fun times.
Cool. Mm-hmm. Did you see Yoko?
Not this time.
Oh.
Yeah.
She's got a big retrospective at the MoMA coming up in the fall.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, she's going to be playing with her band.
The Dakota, the apartments that she lives in still, they were all covered in scaffolding, sadly, so we didn't, but I'd seen them before, but Adam hadn't, and saw Chelsea Hotel, which is, again, another legendary New York City spot for music. Yeah, it was really cool. The Chelsea Market, it's kind of like a street sale, lots of vendors, but I think it's on every week, and that was neat.
Cool.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Loved it.
Glad you enjoyed.
It was super hot.
Yeah,
so
seems
hot.
The weather was good.
Yeah, it was blistering hot.
Oh man.
But oh well, it was okay.
That's why New Yorkers leave the city in the summer.
I know. It was brutal. But
that's cool though.
Yeah.
I have a couple small things to talk about that lead into one larger thing, kind of.
Okay.
So it's about the internet and websites changing and doing different things and artists online. And so what I'm talking about is I spend a lot of time on Tumblr. I'm one of those Tumblr people. And they've recently made some changes. So when you're reblogging a post, you can't edit any previous captions. you can add to or you can delete everything, including like the original caption of the original poster. So this is kind of weird for two reasons. Like, it makes it harder for people to chat. Like, if you wanted to add emphasis to something someone said or anything, you can't edit anyone's words. You can only delete them or add your thoughts at the bottom.
Right.
The reason that this is the problem is it makes it really easy for people to just delete everything, including like artists' names and notes and stuff. Yeah, exactly.
Credit, all that stuff.
So credit to artists gets a lot more. I mean, it just gets easier to not credit artists.
Right.
Yeah. So this is a problem. Everyone's talking about it, and I just wanted to say, when you post things online, if it does not belong to you, include the artist's name.
Yeah. Or artists add a watermark or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I think definitely don't delete artists' names, because
that's just stupid.
You sharing their stuff, if you like it, that's awesome, but it doesn't help the artist if their work just gets really known and nobody knows who made it. So even if you're not buying the artist's work, support them by getting their name out there.
I know. Like, why not keep it on there? It's not like you're losing cred.
Exactly, yeah. So it's kind of a weird move by Tumblr. Like, I can see where they're getting at and that they don't want people editing other people's words, but it's kind of weird. The second thing is Facebook has released, I just heard about this, I don't know exactly when it happened, but Facebook has released that they are like the king of online video play. Like, they've surpassed YouTube, all other video streaming services, is what they claim. This is what Facebook is claiming, is like there's more views on Facebook videos than there are on any other video website. But they're basing this on 3 seconds of play without the audio on. Well, so it's not a true justification of like what a view is.
Yeah, and like they have that thing where like, unless you change your settings, which I've done, the video will just start playing as you're scrolling past it. So it's like,
so if you
that counts as a view.
Exactly. Yeah, if you sit there for 3 seconds, you don't even have to turn the audio on. It counts as a view on YouTube. This just sort of helps them get advertisers, because they're like, look at, so many people are spending so much time watching YouTube videos. The problem here is that, from what I've read, a lot of the top viewed videos on Facebook are stolen from other websites.
Oh my god.
Not crediting the artist. They're just taken from YouTube or taken from other things and posted to Facebook. So that's another problem. Credit artists.
Yeah.
Credit everything. Credit photos. Credit, like, just, what? Come on.
Yeah, credit.
So.
Give credit where it's due.
Exactly. That's what I gotta say about the internet. It's changing ways.
Alright. Good stuff.
Be good to artists.
I just wanted to mention, I heard about this sort of 5-part series podcast online. It's called Twilight of the Gods, a 5-part series on the history of the recording industry. It was put on by CBC. Just a really neat 5-part series. The episodes are about, half an hour, 45 minutes to... half an hour to 45 minutes. And it spans, like, the early days of recording music to modern day creations, and the start of publishing and how all that got started, and like the beginnings of blues and jazz and rock and roll, and how everything like started in one place and it kind of spewed out into what we have now. So if you're sitting at work or you just like listening to podcasts, put it on. You'll learn a lot. I definitely found out some things that I had never heard about before, like how publishing got started and the beginnings of all that, which was really interesting.
What do you mean by publishing? Like,
so like, it all started with the guy who like founded like Peer Publishing, which is still around today, and it was mainly started in like country music. He found like the Carter family and Jimmy Rogers and or Jimmy Carter.
So publishing like recorded music?
Yeah, so like before there was nothing like that, and he found that when he would sign people that only wrote their own songs, because there was like this loophole in copyright or whatever, where he could say like, okay, so for every record that sells, I get 2 cents from it or whatever. And so he was selling like millions and millions of records, and so 2 cents doesn't seem like a lot, but when you times that by millions, it adds up to be quite a lot. So he had this new system, which was essentially publishing, which is the system that we still use today. you know, if you sign with a publisher, it's like greater exposure. They find you placements. And it's a little bit gray because we can talk about like publishing sheet music and like book publishing, like that type of publishing. There's also publishing music. It's really hard to explain. Listen to the podcast. Yeah, publishing.
Okay.
I've worked for publishers and it's still gray, but yeah, publishing
it's
music.
A complex business.
Yeah, it is.
That's cool. I want to check out that podcast.
Yeah, I'll put the link to it in our episode notes.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was created by veteran producer and broadcaster Robert Harris. So, if you know who he is, you'll like it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's all I had for today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just had one quick thing to mention. Last week at SOCAM, which is where I work, we had the winners of the SOCAM Songwriting Prize come pay us a visit and put on a little show for us. And we gave them their $10,000 check and some goodies from Long McQuaid and whatnot.
Oh, cool.
And the act was Dear Rouge, who is a husband and wife duo, the McTaggarts. We saw them play at Way Home the following weekend, or the prior weekend. So it was kind of neat to see them come in and just do like a stripped down acoustic set. Super tight harmonies, and their arrangements were really cool. It didn't sound anything like what you'd hear at Dear Rouge on the radio. I actually preferred it the way that I heard it at SOCAM, just the two of them. It was...
Okay.
You could just tell that the songs were really well written, the way that they performed them. And
It was so loud when we saw them at Way Home.
Yeah, and it wasn't all theatrical, right? It was just two people singing and one of them playing guitar. And yeah, it was just a small group of us in our office watching. So it was really neat. So if you haven't checked out Dear Rouge yet, you should. They have a couple really good songs. One's called Black to Gold, which I really like. And then the song that won, I can never remember what it's called, but you can just Google SOCAM Songwriting Prize and it'll pop up. Yeah, so that was cool, hearing some Canadian talent. They're from Vancouver.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, and that reminds me, check out our video from Way Home.
Yeah.
Lots of Way Home footage. It's the last episode. Take a look.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
Yeah, it was good.
Cool. All right, so...
Yeah, that's it for episode 48. We'll see you next week for episode 49. Have a good week. Bye.
Bye.